Okay, so moving on, we are going to talk about Canvas. Canvas is a learning platform that not every teacher, a very small group of teachers is using at BBCHS. It's in its pilot year. So you might like, okay, I don't even know what you're talking about. So if you don't, that's okay. That's why we're gonna have them individualized when we record these and put them on the website. But having a freshman, I have every learning platform here for my freshmen, and then I've got a couple for my senior. So Andrew Lipowski and Alyssa Carl are some of our Canvas rock stars. So they're gonna talk about Canvas.
Hey everyone, so my name's Andrew Lipowski, and I'm going to be, like Ms. Cole said, presenting with Alyssa Carl. We are a couple of the math teachers here, and between the two of us, we have over a decade of experience using online learning platforms in the school. We've both used Google Classroom. We've went to Schoology way back in the day, and now we're actually going to be looking at Canvas. We're part of that pilot program. Her and I both used Canvas as a student, like when I was getting my master's a few years ago. So we're working through some things. Admittedly, as we pilot this, there's a couple of nuances we're figuring out, but we're going to kind of just give you a rundown here of what you may expect with Canvas, or if you have questions or things like that, hopefully we can answer these. So first thing here is to get to Canvas, and if you use your students' or if you use your child's computer or whatnot, this is going to be bookmarked and saved, but you are going to go to bbchs.instructure.com. About a few weeks ago, we got an official school license, so the website to access it changed, but this is where they're going to go for now. And if you type it in, it's going to take you to a page that looks a little bit like this. You're not going to have this magenta bar at the bottom. That's just because I'm in a student view as the teacher to show you just a couple things. So it's going to take you to a page that looks like this. And while the middle of the page you'd think has the most important information right now, it's actually the stuff on the sides that we really want to talk about. So first thing that's going to happen is you will see like this grayish bar on the left side. And then you'll see the second drop bar with some more tabs. And if you don't see this, the triple bar at the top, just click on it and you will get these options. And the first thing I want to point out is on the far right, you're going to see a to-do list. And for your child, this can really act as your little checklist of things that they have to accomplish, whether it be assignments, whether it be discussion questions. It's all going to be here, okay? And they'll have due dates and assignments and things like that. So essentially, when they're logging into class, they can see like, hey, have I completed this? Have I not completed this? When is this due? When is that due? It's all going to be right here for every class they have in Canvas, okay? So really, the question of what are we doing can be answered with this to-do list. Now, Ms. Carl and I use this Canvas for math. We have different functionality aspects of it that we use. Spanish teachers may use it in a different way. English teachers will use that in a different way. So when we talked among the little group, we found out that all of us have all of our information, and we live inside this tab right here. It's called the modules tab. That's where all of us post all of our things. Most of us have it broken down by weeks in some format. So what you're going to do is, your student comes home, says, what are you working on? Do you have these materials? How do I find the materials? It's going to be this modules tab right here. Me personally, I have a pacing guide, and then I have the assignments and things that we're going to link throughout the day. So you can see some due dates and things like that. It's all there. So walking out of this webinar, if there's one thing you want to remember about Canvas, if you don't know where it's at, modules is where it's going to be. Okay, so you've got this little to-do list here, okay, that's going to give you that little quick little rundown of the assignments and things that are due. You've got your modules tab here, and now some teachers use this a little bit more than others. I would say I use it a little bit more than others. It's this announcements tab. If you do click on it, this will bring you into the announcements. This is most similar to that newsfeed feel of Google Classroom. So you'll see I'm posting every couple of days, just a quick little rundown on where we are at in life and stuff like that. So just something to keep in mind. If I'm going to be absent a day or something, it's there. Back in the homepage, I made this specific part of my page just the announcements, like straight up just announcements, notifications, discussions. Ms. Carl's going to show you her homepage, which is a little, it's really nice. She's put some work into it. It looks really nice. It looks much better than mine. But she uses hers for a little bit different purpose. And that's going to be dependent on the teacher. But really, you have your to-do list, you have your modules, and then you have announcements if you want. And then the one thing, kind of like with what Mr. Swafford said about the Google Calendar, is if you look in this gray area, you've got the Canvas calendar, okay? And you can see all my due dates for assignments here. The only class I teach using Canvas is, well, the only class I teach is Pre-AP Algebra 1. So you see all the due dates right here for all those assignments. That's in green. If there was more than one class your student had using Canvas, you'd see all of it in one spot. So very similar to Google Classroom, obviously just in Canvas. So this kind of gives you a brief outlook in the functionality of Canvas, how to access it, your quick little to-do checklist, and where to find most, well, not where to find most, where to find all of the information. And Ms. Carl now is going to go kind of over from the student perspective, what it looks like for your student to submit assignments and complete work and things like that.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Andrew, and thank you for the introduction as well. My name is Alyssa Carl, and I teach math here at BBCHS. And I just have a couple things I want to add on to Andrew's. I feel like he gave you a really good overview, and as a parent, I feel like that's what you guys are looking for. You're not looking for the nitty-gritty, but I just want to show you a couple of things in addition to his, kind of give you a different perspective. I know a lot of you are thinking, you want a general view of this, right? Not just specific to one class. So hopefully us combining ours together can kind of give you a good view of what this might look like for your student. So I'm going to show you my Canvas, and then I specifically want to show you what assignments look like in Canvas. So you might be hearing from your student the different types of assignments that they're getting, and I just want to show those to you fairly quickly here. So as Andrew noted, the homepage for everyone can look very different. So I think each teacher chooses what works for them, and I think that the simplicity of Andrew's is awesome. What I did with mine is I just kind of made some buttons for my students to use. So for instance, if they don't have the Google Meet bookmark, they could click that. That afternoon help sessions, that's what I have linked up here. I also have a ton of like my outcome 3 videos, my outcome 3 answer keys, all of that good stuff. Okay, so that is what my homepage functions as. But again, the sidebars are still the same. So really it's just kind of whatever additional information they might want there. So under modules is where we all live, but another tab that your student might like to use, and one tab I've seen students use, is the assignments tab. On there, it'll show you upcoming assignments, and it will also show you past assignments or overdue assignments. Okay, so the thing that is nice here, and I'll kind of run through and show you, is that it tells you when they're available, what the due date is, what they're out of, all of that good stuff. So there's 3 assignments I want to show you, and then we will conclude the Canvas portion of this. So the first one that I would like to show you is this assignment here. Actually, I'm going to show you the next one first. Is this assignment right here. So when a student has an assignment, it'll tell them the due date, how many points, what the teacher would like them to submit, and then maybe how many attempts that they are allowed and when it's open. So right now you can't see anything except for the instructions, but if you click this big blue button up here that says submit assignment, then they'll see all the tabs with options. So for this assignment, I said that they could upload whatever they wanted, so they could add a file for me. They could maybe just type their answer out right into Canvas, add some. We love the math tools in the math department. I know that's what we love about Canvas. They could do a website URL, or they could actually just upload straight from their Google Drive. So they could access any files that they've had for another class or anything they've been assigned outside and just add it straight from there. So once they add it, they would click a submit button. I can do that for you. They'll click submit, and it will give them a nice little confetti party here and tell them that it's been submitted. And also, since this one had multiple attempts, they're able to resubmit it. A lot of teachers have that multiple attempts set up, especially for homework assignments, because they want to be able to have the students get feedback and keep going through that. So that's just a generic assignment they could have. The other type of assignment is a Google integrated assignment. So this actually makes it a lot like Google Classroom in the sense of I can assign one thing and it can make individual copies for each student. It functions the same way, but one thing I think is important is that you guys know how students are able to see their feedback, because I've heard from a lot of parents, their kid wants to know what they got right and wrong and how to kind of fix that for themselves. So to show you some feedback here, this is an assignment I already turned in as a sample student, and then I went back myself and graded it. So the student can see their grade here. They can obviously see what they clicked or what they submitted and if I left any comments. And then they can also see overall feedback here at the bottom. So there is a lot of spaces in Canvas for your student to receive some individual feedback, which is another good feature of it. And that is something that is only beneficial if the student knows that and the student is able to go find that themselves. So that's why I felt like that was important for you to see. The last really type of assignment that we will see in Canvas are these what they call quizzes. And quizzes are essentially just a built-in quiz. So it gives feedback automatically. It has question types. When I was in college, this is what I did all the time. So they will click this blue take the quiz button, and then they'll see whatever types of questions the teacher answered. You can see over here which ones you have done, which ones you haven't, and so on and so forth. So there's obviously a bunch of different question types, some multiple choice. I'll just do a couple here so we can get some feedback. Some where they have to type, and so on and so forth. Okay, and then there's also like numeric answers where they have to put something in there. So I'll just type a number there. It does save for them automatically, which I know a lot of students appreciate because then they can work on it multiple times and not have to do it all in one sitting. And then when you click this submit quiz button, it'll tell you if you have unanswered questions. And when you submit it, your student will automatically be able to see their score. So they'll be able to see when they submitted it. It tells us, just like it tells them, how long they took. And then it's able to go through and tell them what they got right, what they got wrong. I like to put in some feedback for them. So right away they can see, oh, I got this wrong. Here is what the right answer could have been, just so they don't have to wait for me to go through and grade that for them. So that is the quiz functionality of it. Again, I have this open for unlimited attempts. So really you could keep taking it again and again until they get it right. And my rationale behind that, as well as a lot of teachers, is if we are assigning homework, especially digitally, we want them to be able to take it until they feel like they truly understand the material, not just kind of as a gotcha, one and done, turn it in type of assignment. So Canvas as a whole, as Andrew said, is a pilot that's looking to grow. Currently, it's the leading learning management system for colleges in the US. So it's something that, as Tiffany mentioned at the beginning, is really preparing your student for their post-grad education, and something that we feel like is super beneficial for them. So if you have questions on Canvas, you can ask Andrew and I. You can also, I would say, ask that teacher specifically, because they're going to have the best idea of how they are using that platform. So I will turn it back over to Tiffany.